Learn English through story. Chasing shadows. In the heart of a sprawling metropolis, where the cacophony of life thrummed against the backdrop of skyscrapers and bright neon lights, lived a woman named Alara, a seasoned art curator at a prestigious gallery. She was known for her keen eye and passion for unearthing hidden talents. But beneath the surface of her polished exterior lay a woman haunted by shadows, the shadows of her past that flickered at the edges of her consciousness, threatening to consume her. Alara was a woman of contradictions. In her professional life, she exuded confidence and charisma, drawing people into the world of art with her magnetic presence. Yet, when the gallery doors closed and the lights dimmed, she often found herself spiraling into a chasm of loneliness. Memories of her late father, a once renowned artist who had fallen into obscurity, haunted her. He had been her first mentor, her guiding light, but the shadows of addiction had claimed him too soon, leaving her with a legacy stained by both brilliance and despair. One rainy afternoon, as Alara strolled through the city, lost in thought, she stumbled upon a small, tucked away gallery that she had never noticed before. Its windows were fogged, and a flickering light beckoned her inside. Intrigued, she pushed open the door, the bell chiming softly overhead. Inside, the gallery was a world of its own, dimly lit, with walls adorned by abstract paintings that danced with emotion. Each piece seemed to pulse with life, yet Alara felt an undercurrent of sadness in the air. At the back of the room, a figure hunched over a canvas, their back to her. "Hello?" Alara called, her voice echoing in the quiet space. The figure turned, revealing a young man with tousled hair and paint-splattered jeans. His deep-set eyes held a tumult of emotions, passion, pain, and an artist's longing. "Hi there," he replied, his voice soft yet resonant. "I'm Leo. Welcome to my little sanctuary." Alara stepped closer, captivated by the raw energy of the artwork surrounding her. "It's incredible," she said, her eyes sweeping over the pieces. "You have a unique style." "Thank you," Leo said, a hint of pride illuminating his features. "I try to channel my emotions into my work. Each piece is a reflection of my struggles and dreams." As they conversed, Alara felt an inexplicable connection to Leo, a resonance that echoed her own internal battles. They spoke about art, life, and the shadows that lurked in their hearts. Leo shared stories of his own struggle as an artist, striving for recognition while battling personal demons. Alara found herself opening up about her father's legacy, the burden of expectation, and the fear of failure that loomed over her. "Sometimes, I feel like I'm chasing shadows," she confessed, her voice trembling. "My father's brilliance looms over me, and I worry that I'll never be able to live up to it." Leo's gaze softened. "We all have our shadows, but chasing them doesn't mean they define us. It means we acknowledge them and create our own light." Alara pondered his words, feeling a flicker of hope ignite within her. Perhaps it was time to confront her own shadows, to let them guide her rather than hold her captive. As the weeks turned into months, Alara found herself returning to Leo's gallery often. Their bond deepened, built on shared experiences and a mutual understanding of the creative struggle. She became a mentor to him, offering guidance and insights into the art world while he encouraged her to embrace her own creativity. One evening, while discussing an upcoming exhibit, Leo looked at Alara with intensity. "You should showcase your own work, Alara. You have a voice that deserves to be heard." Alara hesitated, doubt creeping in. "But I'm not an artist like you or my father. I've never put brush to canvas seriously." "Art isn't just about technical skill, it's about expression," Leo urged, his eyes bright with enthusiasm. "Your perspective, your story, those are what make your work valuable." Something shifted within Alara, a spark of courage igniting as she contemplated the possibility. With Leo's encouragement, she began to explore her artistic side. She picked up brushes and paints for the first time in years, allowing herself to pour her emotions onto the canvas. As the days passed, the act of creating became both cathartic and exhilarating. Each stroke released the pent-up pain of her past, transforming shadows into something beautiful. She painted late into the night, losing herself in the rhythm of color and form, and for the first time, she felt a sense of liberation. Their relationship evolved beyond mentor and mentee. Alara found herself drawn to Leo in ways she hadn't anticipated. There was a magnetic pull, a chemistry that crackled in the air whenever they were together. Yet, the weight of her past held her back, fearful of crossing boundaries, afraid of losing the only connection that had begun to heal her wounds. One evening, after an intense painting session, they sat side by side in the gallery, the soft glow of candles casting flickering shadows on the walls. "You've made incredible progress," Leo said, admiring the pieces they had created together. "I can see your soul in your work." Alara felt a blush rise to her cheeks. "Thank you, Leo. I couldn't have done this without you." As they sat in silence, the air thick with unspoken words, Leo turned to her, vulnerability etched on his face. "Alara, I feel a connection between us that I can't ignore. But I don't want to rush you. I know you're still grappling with your past." Alara's heart raced, the shadows of doubt creeping in. "I care about you deeply, Leo, but I'm scared. Scared of losing what we have, scared of falling into another shadow." "Life is full of uncertainties," he replied, his voice steady. "But sometimes, we have to take a leap of faith. Let's not let fear dictate our choices." In that moment, something within Alara shifted. She realized that to chase shadows meant to confront them, to embrace vulnerability and the possibility of love. With trembling hands, she reached for Leo's, intertwining their fingers. "I want to explore this connection," she whispered, her heart pounding with both fear and excitement. As their relationship blossomed, so did Alara's artistic journey. Inspired by her experiences with Leo, she curated an exhibit titled Chasing Shadows, a collection that encapsulated her struggles, fears, and triumphs. The pieces were deeply personal, each canvas telling a story of resilience and transformation. The night of the exhibit arrived, and the gallery buzzed with anticipation. Art enthusiasts, critics, and friends gathered to witness the unveiling of Alara's work. As she stood among the vibrant colors, she felt a mix of pride and vulnerability wash over her. When Leo entered the gallery, his eyes lit up with admiration. "This is incredible, Alara," he said, his voice filled with genuine awe. "You've poured your heart into every piece." The two stood side by side, their fingers brushing against each other. The atmosphere was electric, charged with the unspoken words of their shared journey. As the crowd mingled, Alara felt a surge of confidence, knowing that she was no longer just living in the shadows of her past. As the evening progressed, Alara found herself surrounded by admirers, discussing her inspirations and the emotions behind each piece. But amidst the applause and praise, a familiar figure emerged from the crowd. Her father's former art dealer, a man known for his sharp critique and cutting remarks. "Alara," he said, his voice dripping with condescension, "you've certainly created quite the spectacle here. But do you truly think you can step out of your father's shadow?" Her heart sank at his words, the old wounds reopening. Doubt crept back in, threatening to overshadow the progress she had made. "I'm not trying to compete with my father," she replied, her voice steady but laced with vulnerability. "I'm simply expressing my own story." "Is that so?" he sneered, eyeing her paintings with a critical gaze. "Art is about mastery, not just emotion." "Can you really call this art?" Before she could respond, Leo stepped forward, his presence a shield against the man's bitterness. "What you see here is Alara's voice," he said, his tone unwavering. "She's poured her heart into these pieces, and they speak volumes about her journey." Alara felt a surge of gratitude as Leo defended her, a warmth spreading through her chest. The dealer scoffed and walked away, but the encounter had shaken her confidence. She turned to Leo, her heart racing. "What if he's right? What if I can't step out of his shadow?" Leo took her hands in his, grounding her. "You're not your father. You're Alara, and you have your own story to tell. Don't let anyone diminish that." Their eyes locked, and Alara felt the weight of his words seep into her soul. In that moment, she understood that chasing shadows meant not only confronting her past but also embracing her present and future. As the exhibit continued, Alara basked in the support of her friends and the admiration of fellow artists. With each compliment, she felt the shadows receding, replaced by a sense of belonging. Yet, the euphoria of the evening was short-lived. As the night drew to a close, she received a call that shattered her newfound confidence. It was her mother, her voice strained with worry. "Alara, we need to talk. Your father a broken bar, he's in the hospital." A flood of emotions crashed over her, the old wounds reopening with renewed intensity. Alara felt the familiar weight of shadows descend upon her, threatening to engulf her once more. She exchanged a pained glance with Leo, who offered her silent support. "Is he okay?" Alara asked, her heart racing. "I don't know," her mother replied, her voice quivering. "He's been drinking again, and a broken bar. It's bad this time." Without thinking, Alara rushed to the hospital, her heart heavy with a mix of dread and unresolved feelings. As she entered the sterile environment, the familiar scents and sounds flooded her with memories of a father who had once been her hero but had transformed into a shadow of his former self. When she found him in the hospital bed, he looked frail and broken, a stark contrast to the vibrant artist she had once known. "Alara," he croaked, his voice barely a whisper. "I didn't think you'd come." The pain in his eyes pierced her heart. "I came because I care," she said, her voice trembling. "But you need to stop this, Dad. You can't keep living like this." He looked away, shame etched on his face. "I know I've disappointed you. A broken bar. I've disappointed everyone. I'm sorry." Alara felt a mix of anger and sorrow. "You need to fight this, to reclaim your life. I can't keep chasing your shadow." As they spoke, the years of hurt and love poured out between them, a raw and unfiltered exchange. For the first time, Alara confronted her father, holding him accountable for the pain his choices had caused. "I need you to be better, not just for me, but for yourself," she implored, tears streaming down her face. "I'm trying," he whispered, his voice breaking. "But it's so hard." In that moment, Alara realized that her father was still a man grappling with his own shadows. They were both chasing their shadows, but perhaps, together, they could find a way to embrace the light. After a long conversation, she left the hospital, her heart heavy but hopeful. She returned to Leo, who was waiting for her with open arms. "How is he?" Leo asked, concern etched on his face. Alara took a deep breath, allowing herself to be vulnerable. "Has a broken bar, struggling. But I think he's willing to fight for himself this time." Leo pulled her close, grounding her amidst the chaos. "You've done the hard part, Alara. You confronted him. That takes courage." Over the following weeks, Alara continued to support her father as he entered rehab, navigating the tumultuous waters of recovery. It wasn't easy, but she was determined to break the cycle of addiction that had plagued their family for too long. Throughout this time, her bond with Leo deepened, their relationship becoming a sanctuary amidst the storm. They shared moments of vulnerability, laughter, and the simple joy of being together. With each passing day, Alara felt more at home in her skin, reclaiming her identity as an artist and a woman. One evening, as they walked along a riverside park, Leo paused and turned to her, his expression serious. "Alara, I want to be honest about something. My feelings for you have grown deeper than I ever anticipated." Alara's heart raced, a mix of exhilaration and fear coursing through her. "I feel the same, Leo. But what if I can't fully let go of my past?" "Let's not chase shadows," he said softly. "Let's embrace each other, flaws and all. We're both works in progress, and that's okay." With that, they leaned into each other, their lips meeting in a soft kiss that ignited a fire within Alara. In that moment, she understood that love wasn't about perfection, it was about acceptance, growth, and the willingness to face life's uncertainties together. As the seasons changed, Alara's father continued his path to recovery, slowly rebuilding their relationship. The journey was fraught with challenges, but they faced each obstacle together, determined to break free from the shadows that had held them captive for so long. Alara's artwork flourished as she poured her experiences into her creations. With Leo by her side, she showcased her pieces in various galleries, gaining recognition and respect in the art community. Each exhibit became a celebration of resilience, a testament to her journey of self-discovery. One evening, as they prepared for another exhibition, Leo turned to Alara, his eyes sparkling with excitement. "I have an idea. Let's collaborate on a piece for the show, something that reflects both of our journeys." Alara's heart swelled at the thought. "I love that idea. Let's create something beautiful together." As they painted side by side, their brushes danced in harmony, each stroke symbolizing their intertwined lives. The canvas became a tapestry of color and emotion, a reflection of the shadows they had chased and the light they had embraced. The night of the exhibition arrived, and the gallery buzzed with anticipation. As they unveiled their collaborative piece, a wave of applause washed over them. Alara felt a sense of fulfillment, knowing that their work was not just about art, it was about love, healing, and the power of connection. In the midst of the celebration, Leo took her hand, his gaze steady. "Alara, I want to take this step with you. Let's not just chase shadows, let's create our own light together." With tears in her eyes, Alara nodded, knowing that this was just the beginning of a new chapter. They embraced, surrounded by the warmth of friends and supporters, their hearts full of hope for the future. As the years unfolded, Alara and Leo continued to navigate life's complexities together. They faced challenges, celebrated victories, and built a life grounded in love and creativity. Their relationship became a source of strength, a partnership that embraced vulnerability and resilience. Alara's father, too, found his footing, slowly reclaiming his place in the art world. Their bond deepened as they both confronted their pasts, sharing the journey of healing and growth. Alara learned to forgive, not just for her father's sake but for her own peace of mind. As Alara stood in her studio one evening, surrounded by her latest creations, she smiled, reflecting on the journey that had brought her here. She had chased shadows, confronted her fears, and emerged stronger than ever. With Leo by her side, she had discovered that life was a canvas, an ever-evolving masterpiece filled with color, light, and the beauty of imperfection. Together, they continued to paint their story, one brush stroke at a time, embracing the light while acknowledging the shadows that shaped them. And in the heart of the city, where shadows danced with the light, Alara learned that life was not just about chasing shadows but about embracing the journey, an intricate tapestry woven with love, hope, and the unwavering pursuit of one's truth. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you enjoyed, then please like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.